Welcome back to another episode of Mindful Moments. I am your host, Jada Lowe. Do you guys see what we're working with here? Okay, I forgot my mic, so this is why the mic looks different. But other than that, what do y'all notice? She's back. Tell a friend to tell a friend she's back. The two strands have made it back into the group chat. Talked to them yesterday. They feel great. She got a detox, and so we are feeling good, living better. How are y'all doing? I'm feeling great. Other than my back, um, backstory, no pun intended. Y'all, I hurt my back at the gym. I hurt my back at the gym. I was going to do a good old hip thrust, and the gym I go to, we have two hip thrust machines, right? But you can also do the hip thrust with like the barbell. So I said, let me be a big girl and do it with the barbell. I like the machines too, but I feel like I can get a little bit more range of motion, or so I thought, on that daggone barbell. And my form wasn't the best. And I put a little too much weight on it, lifted with my ego or whatever. And I went down and I came up and I went down again. I felt like I could go for two more, but it was still a little heavy. And I went down for the last one, and I think I heard like a slight crack in my back a little bit, like a pop, not like a break or a fracture, but it was like she said, I think I'm gonna need for you to put this down. And I kid y'all not, the pain was probably at like a 9.5. Today, that happened Thursday. Today is Monday, and I'm at about a 3. It's still a little aggravated, so I took it light in the gym today. But Thursday, I couldn't roll over in my bed. I had to get up and I had to stand and like bend over my dresser. And that was the time where I said, God, I'm so sorry for taking all this for granted. Sitting down on the toilet, wiping, just keeping it a beam machine, standing up, laying down, turning over in the bed, bending down to pick stuff up, put my pants on, put my socks on. It hurt to put my scarf on. Because I had to kind of like bend back a little bit to put my scarf on. And she was like, we're not doing that. You think you're going to do that today? Pick another one. Because my back was screaming. But I used some icy hot and I rested. I walked the next day, but like now I'm just kind of trying to stretch it out. But that's where I am. Other than that, everything's good. And so, yeah, just trying to check my posture, literally and figuratively. But yeah, let's get into it. So I was outside walking the other day. I finished 75 hard. That's gonna be a separate video on YouTube. But I finished 75 hard, and one day I was outside walking. You have to do two 45-minute workouts, and one has to be outside. Just to give context, I was outside walking, and as I was walking, this was like a few weeks back, but I was praying this particular day, and I had just kind of said to God, I was like, you know what, God, this isn't what I signed up for. This is not what I signed up for. Like you said, I asked you if I asked you if I should make this move, and you said yes. And so I said, okay, I'm coming. You were like, come, so I'm here, right? I'm here, ready to go. And now that we get here, it's like it's the opposite of everything that I anticipated, you know? And as I was praying and just talking it through, he opened up my eyes to a lot of stuff. And so that's what I kind of want to run through with y'all, and something that I feel like we don't talk about a lot. We talk about obedience, we talk about the things that you have to sacrifice when you obey. We talk about the excitement that comes with saying yes to God, but rarely do we talk about the backside to being obedient. And that's what I want us to talk about. But yeah, when you say yes to God, it's like, oh, this is this excitement, is this joy. You have all of these ideas of what you want to do. Let me make it a little more personal. I had all these ideas of what I wanted to do. I had my timeline. I had when I wanted to do it. I had where I wanted to be. I had who I wanted to do it with. And God was like, no, 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 not yet. No, no. Got something better? No. And I was like, this wasn't this wasn't in my contract. This wasn't in the agreement. This wasn't what I signed up for. this is not my time frame. Like, God, this just isn't, I don't think this is for me. I think, I think I want to reconsider things or reevaluate, right? But yeah, just through talking with him, I realized that the conclusion that I came to was that being obedient requires you to make sacrifices. And the sacrifice being yourself in a way, denying your plan, what you want to do, your time frame, when you want to do it, and where you want to end up. Like it's a lot of things that I thought I would have been way farther in this year that I don't feel like I wasted time, but I just feel like with the work that I've done, I would have been further along. But as I was praying about it, I realized that all of it, none of it was wasted, but it's helped to cultivate in me the things that I need and the person I need to be for when that time comes. But sometimes we see the end instead of the process, and so we want to get to the end so fast, and we want to get to the destination so fast, we forget to, and I say this all the time, we just forget the little steps that are helping along the way. But yeah, when you say yes, you realize the process of saying yes incorporates a lot of the opposite of the yes, being the no. But yeah, I was realizing God was just kind of showing me how, that was as a means to protect me. Like I've wanted mindful moments to be further along, just being honest, in following, in reach, in engagement. I wanted it to be so much further along than where it is. But the things that I've learned has helped me to not, honestly, this process has helped me to stop being so sensitive. I think we can, when we're going through something, or even like when we're working towards it and when we're making progress in a good way, and we don't make this grandiose, and isn't it grandiose? Like this grandiose thing of as far as the magnitude of the step, we take it as a personal attack. And so I'm like, God, why? Is it something with me? No, it's just you're not ready. And it's not being ready in a bad way. It's just there's some other things, there's some other character traits and just things that need to be built on the inside of you to help you get to that point. And I believe God uses it as a method of pruning and protection. And that's just been the thing that I've seen within this process, because I'm going to be honest. Started Mindful Moments in January. By June, I was like, God, I want 60 mil. Give me 60 million for sure. Give me 60 mil at the very minimum. Give me 100K. And I was just like, I'm going crazy faith. I'm just putting it out there. And so now we here, and it's like, it's not that. It's not that at all. And instead of saying, I've tackled it from a place of appreciation now than I was before, instead of as like a personal attack or like a personal hit, or blaming God as if it's him not keeping his word. It's him keeping his word. It's just not in your time frame. And so coming from the standpoint, okay, I appreciate everything I've learned. This is what I've learned. This is who I've become. Now I see hindsight why you have me doing it at the steps that you have me doing it in. And so yeah, pruning and protecting, just watching out for me. So let's get into it. So in the sense of pruning and protection. So pruning is the removal of dead and dying branches and stubs, allowing room for new growth and protecting your property and passerby from damage. It also deters pest and animal infestation and promotes the plant's natural shape and healthy growth. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? So in this process, I've had to let a lot of things go. I've had to let a lot of things go in myself. And the The key thing in this definition that stood out to me was natural shape and healthy growth. Sometimes we want to get somewhere so fast to where we realize if we were to get to it in our own time, we would be left more unhealthy, or God forbid, doing it a way that's inauthentic to us, or doing it in a way to where we're copying somebody else's journey. And I believe that's why God causes certain things to take so much time, is because he's trying to cultivate in us the authenticity, making us in his image, and shaping us into the natural form that we were supposed to be shaped in anyway. Because I'm gonna be honest, it's some stuff that I've been wanting to do, and I just know it didn't work because it wasn't me doing it for Jada, or it wasn't my idea. It was me trying to be like somebody else. It was me trying to be like somebody else. And when you try to do something that's inauthentic to you, let alone outside of God's will, God will be like, all right, X that out. But yeah, the natural shape and the healthy growth is what stood out to me, because that is how I would define mindful moments this year and just my personal journey for 2023. This has probably been the first year where I would say I've healthily grown, and where I've grown at a good, reasonable pace. Some of it not out of my own volition, but just making good, healthy progress, to where I even see now, mindset wise, I'm like, okay, God, I see why I'm waiting a little longer. And even now I know why I'm waiting a little longer, because it's some stuff where like I just know I need a little bit more molding and a little bit more skill to be built up in, just, before whenever that time comes. Um, and another big thing was God protecting. Yeah, God will protect you from danger seen and unseen, but let's talk about God protecting you from you. That's a whole that's a whole different thing. You got to deal with you every day. And sometimes you're your biggest hindrance from getting to where you need to go. And God showed me a lot of ways in which he was keeping me from me. He was holding me back from me, and he was keeping me from a past version of myself that would stop me from being able to step into what my future self is to become. And yeah, another thing I want to talk about is some of the I'm making this face. I know y'all can't see it on listening, but YouTube, what? Not the call signal, but YouTube, like I'm making that face because God has a sense of humor. And a lot of the things that I prayed for, I see, he was like, it's been a lot of not yet. And the main thing that I've been praying for has been understanding. And it's like I've gotten it, but I haven't gotten it to the fullest extent that I want it, but I know I've gotten it to the degree at which I need it. Yeah. Yeah. Um, so some of the things that I thought he was saying yes to, one of those things was understanding. I'm like, God, one of the biggest questions, what's the biggest thing we ask God? God, why? And he's like, sometimes I believe he's intentionally silent, or says it quietly so we'll listen harder, or so with time it'll be revealed, and or but understanding was one. And also, ironically, this season that I'm in, I'm 100% certain, but I'm also 100% confused. Not in the way where, because God is not the author of confusion, not in a way where it's a battle between should I do this or should I do that. I'm 100% certain what I should be doing, but there's also the same degree of confusion. But the certainty comes in because I know that He called me to it. The confusion just comes from my human brain not being able to understand the logistics of everything. And I'm the type of person, baby, she got to know everything. I need to know A through Z. Don't leave nothing out. Don't leave nothing out. And God is like, I know, He knows that. And I'm like, I know you know that. You know I need A through Z, and you only give me A, F, and X. Like, really? You're not gonna give me the whole layout? And he's like, I mean, you prayed that you would have a deeper sense of trust in me. So why do you think I would You think I'm going to give you every step? I'm giving you what you asked for. You prayed for a greater degree of trust in me. So why would I give you the step by step? So yes, 100, she is 100% certain and 100% confused at the same time. And I think or not think, but the fact that I know that God called me to it is what's bred that certainty. But I've I've been having to find a balance of the sweet spot of being there because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable knowing, but also not knowing. Like knowing in your spirit, but in the natural, nothing lines up with what you know in your spirit, and that can get confusing. But not letting that overpower the certainty to where you stop being obedient to what he's called you to. Um yeah, just the certainty of knowing that he called you, but the confusion of not knowing that, there we go, the ins and outs of the process of getting to what he's called you to. Um, but yeah, that's how I've really been feeling, like content wise and just in general, because I feel at peace when I'm creating. I feel at peace when I'm talking to y'all. It's a certainty, like a calming certainty that's there. And then it's sometimes like, well, you're just not growing how you want to grow. You're making progress, but not, y'all can be raunchy and act funny if you want to. But when I say I want to make progress, baby, I want to go from 0 to 10,000. I don't want to go from 0 to 100. I'm too impatient for that. I don't want to from 0 to 50, even 0 to 10. Take me from 0 to 10,000. And God is like, no, let's do 0 to 10. I'm like, 0 to who? Who this for? Who is 0 to 10 for? But I'm like, okay, I hear you, because it's something I need to learn in the 0 to 10. I I got you. I got you. But yeah, you have to sacrifice in knowing that there's not a level of misunderstanding, but just knowing that there's a level of what you've been told by him and what you see, that there's going to be sometimes I guess you could say a battle, but knowing which one to listen to and asking God to help you to see, and asking him to reassure you too, and to reassure your trust in him. And what I learned was that I was like, okay, Jada, let's think this through. Do you want to stay where he's called you to and keep going through the process and keep working, keep doing what you're supposed to do, or do you want to settle? So obey and sacrifice, or disobey and suffer. You pick. Which one do you want to do? Do you want to go to where he's called you to do? And because both are a process, but both get you to different results in the end. So I say, yeah, God, I'm stepping out on faith. I want to do this. I'm stepping out. I'm starting my business. I want to do this. I want to take this chance. I want to step out on faith. I hear what you're saying. I'm coming. You say come. Here I am. And sacrificing the old you to step into the new, or he's calling you to do something. You feel it on your spirit that you're supposed to be doing something bigger, but you stay. And you end up suffering in the end. But even if it's not a hardcore suffer, I feel like you can even suffer too, in the sense of having that what if thought ringing in the back of your head. I got to a point where, I'm going to be honest, at the beginning of this year, I said I don't want to live my life from a what if mindset. I'm going to either do it and realize that that's not it, or I'm going to do it and it end up being what it's supposed to be. But I don't want to live from the standpoint of, dang, what if I would have tried that? What if I would have tried the podcast? What if I would have tried the business? What if I would have tried reaching out? What if I would have tried this new friendship? What if I would have tried putting myself out of my comfort zone? You won't know unless you do it. So obey and sacrifice, or disobey and suffer. I don't have time to be settling no more. I don't, in anything. And if obedience comes with me having to sacrifice a part of myself so I can end up being better, and even though I can't see it right now, just getting out of my little funk and getting past myself and doing what needs to be done for God, let me just go ahead and do it. Instead of being right here and being miserable, and down the line possibly end up resenting God when I could have just said yes in the first place. He's going to be with you through both. But ideally, just obey and sacrifice what you need to sacrifice. Easier said than done. But if you had to pick one of the two, pick obedience. There's a backside to it. Yes, there's a lot that you don't know, but God won't bring you to something that he hasn't equipped you for. Even in the midst of it, if you can't see how you're qualified to do it, even if you don't know how, if it's this position, if it's this, just this big thing and you feel small, he's going to equip you to where you'll be built for what he's taking you to. That's what I'm trying to get at. And the backside of obedience being that is something that we tend to stay quiet about. And a lot of people don't really talk about it. You see the end result or the excitement of how that person got to where they are, but everybody has a story, everybody has a journey, and the main theme is that the backside of obedience produces transformation. You are transformed into a new person, a better person, a more evolved version of you that you didn't even think you could get to. And that's what I've been. I can't describe it, probably because I'm still kind of in it, but this has been one of the most backside of obedience type of years that I've ever had in my freaking life. But it's been rewarding because I'm appreciating what I didn't thought I would appreciate. I've always heard people say embrace the journey, but I'm gonna be I I can't believe I'm about to say this. I don't be trying to hear all that. I don't be trying to hear embrace the journey. Take me to the destination. I'm getting better at embracing and loving the process. But before, I was just ready to get to where I wanted to get to. But I've had a deeper appreciation for like who I've been becoming, and it's been a beautiful thing to see. Like I've been seeing myself growing, and I've just been I s- I am a different person, and this is the first time where I've been able to see it. And it's fulfilling, but it's like, y'all, I can't even describe it. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to know that, yeah, I may not be where I want to be, but I've been putting in the work to get me a step closer to that, even if it's just one step. I'm a different person. I'm operating differently, and I feel good. I feel real deal holy feel good. That's the best way I know how to explain it. I've learned more about myself in this past year than I ever have thus far. Um, I just I've done more than I could have imagined that I would be doing. I've been taking bigger steps. I've been taking some risk, and it's like who is she? Who is she? But yeah, I just want y'all to know that yes, there's a backside to obedience, but it produces something so beautiful, and that is a transformed version of you. But yeah, I just wanted this episode to be one that was a little enlightening. But for you guys, but to be honest too, because we talk about the journey so much to where we talk about enjoying it, but we don't talk about how do you enjoy it when it's not what you thought it was gonna be. Like how do you keep trucking when it's not what it was cracked up to be? Like y'all didn't say I was gonna stumble. Y'all didn't say that I was gonna have to learn this way. That's a completely different way. So I just wanted to shed just a little bit of light on that. And I'll say this too before I get done. Saying yes to God is the best decision that I have ever made. In a bunch of ways, yes, mainly of course giving my life to him, but in this season right here, asking and him saying yes and then sticking with the yes, I don't really do that. And this is the first time where I've done it and the fruit it's produced has been oh so sweet. Um you like that? Yeah, but it's been good. It's been really good. And I know that ultimately this season of obedience will serve as a reference because a few episodes back, y'all, when I said a lot of the times we don't want to be obedient because we don't see the version of ourselves that the obedience is for. This not gonna be my last time saying yes. God is gonna make the yes be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And That's all I got to say. But this will be a season of reference for when that future time comes. So I digress. She digresses. If you're on a journey right now, you just like, you feel like you're on that backside a little bit where it's like, this wasn't what he, this wasn't what he showed me. You got a snapshot of the destination, but you didn't see all the ins and outs. Keep pushing through. Stick with the journey, and take some time. Definitely take some time to reflect about all the stuff that you've learned in in your journey, like, and even from the standpoint of this year, what are some things that you wrote down or that you said you would do at the beginning of the year that you've completed now? How are you different then from now? um and if you didn't complete it, what's something small that you could set now to where you finish it at the end of the year? It's definitely not too late, but that's what helped me too. Instead of seeing where I wasn't, seeing where I came from. And so do that. I challenge y'all to do that this week. I love you, and I hope you guys have a great, great week, no matter what time you're listening to it. And I encourage you, don't disobey and suffer, but obey and sacrifice. Be obedient. Say yes to God. And if you've already said yes, keep trucking along. I believe in you. I love you. And I will see you in the next episode.